thanks for joining us. I'm Tabitha John. This is the news from EBC. Our top stories this hour. Britain discloses its plan of boosting trade with Ethiopia. The recent visit by Norwegian royals to Ethiopia said successful. And Nigerian entrepreneur pushes for solar energy development. Britain discloses its plan of boosting trade with Ethiopia. Prime Minister Hailemariam Desalegn confers with UK International Trade Secretary Liam Fox on Friday. Abraham Mastrat has more on that.
Discussing various issues of cooperation with Prime Minister Hailemariam Desalegn in Addis Ababa, the UK International Trade Secretary Liam Fox expressed the aspiration of his government for increased flow of foreign direct investment to Ethiopia.
How that we might help in some of the issues about opening up the economy, making it more investor friendly. There is a lot of interest from the UK about being able to invest in the incredible potential and opportunities that exist in this country, and we discussed some of the ways in which we might make that a reality.
There are already over 300 British companies investing in Ethiopia. The British Prime Minister's trade and investment representative to Ethiopia said on Friday that he wants to see a boost in the export of Ethiopia to the UK.
Our aim is to increase UK investment in Ethiopia and trade with Ethiopia, both exports from Ethiopia to the UK and from the UK to Ethiopia. And we're determined to work with the Ethiopian government to do that.
Germany also appreciated various mega projects undergoing in Ethiopia.
Government's concentration on infrastructure, whether it's transport infrastructure, energy infrastructure, or indeed the industrial parks is, well, I would say, knowing many of the countries in this area, it's a leading example. In fact, I hear this week people from Rwanda and possibly Tanzania came here to see what you're doing with industrial parks, and I think that's tremendous.
Similarly, Prime Minister Hailemariam Desalegn, receiving a delegation at his office, discussed ways of furthering multi-layer cooperation between Somaliland and Ethiopia.
Norwegian ambassador to Ethiopia, Andreas Garde, said the recent visit of the Crown Prince Haakon and Princess Mette-Marit visit to Ethiopia met all his expectations. The visit is a manifestation of determined keenness of Norway and Ethiopia to build, strengthen and deepen their relationship further. Our staff reporter Daniel Kasahun sat with the ambassador to learn his reflections over the royals' visit.
General feeling I have is that this was a great success. It met all my expectations in terms of the visit. Their Royal Highnesses, the Crown Prince and the Crown Princess of Norway got to meet and see what Norway is doing in Ethiopia. They got to meet Ethiopian officials, part of the Ethiopian population. They experienced the Ethiopian hospitality. So I can only say that it certainly met our expectations. It is a great success. Another element of this is, of course, the attraction of foreign direct investment. I was very happy to see that the royal couple was accompanied by 60 plus representatives of private sector in Norway. They represented 46 companies, which was a participation that far exceeded my expectations. And they had 2 days of interesting seminar looking at opportunities in Ethiopia. So we'll see what comes out of that. For me, this is clearly the best possible way of highlighting and cementing the relationship that is developing, the broad relationship that is developing between Norway and Ethiopia. But it also gave the possibility of showcasing what we are doing currently in terms of our partnership. I think when we last spoke, I termed it a strategic partnership. And this whole visit gives us the possibility of building and cementing and deepening that relationship. And my challenge now will be to do that, to build on what this visit has gained, and to see how we can bring the relationship even further forward.
World Bank urged more private sector involvement in Ethiopia to enhance the business climate in the country. That has been remarked in relation to World Bank's Doing Business Project 2018 report presented and discussed here in Addis. Jerusalem Betzaha reports.
World Bank's Doing Business Project 2008 report ranks countries on their ease for doing business, presented here in Addis Ababa on Friday. Doing Business 2008 has assessed quantitative indicators on business regulations and the protection of property rights, among others, across 190 countries. According to Frederick Munir, Ethiopia has an ample opportunity to improve its performances in business.
So it's very important for Ethiopia to develop a bigger private sector so that growth can come from the private sector, and to have a vibrant local community that can create jobs in the future and have a growth based on private sector and jobs driven by it instead of other things.
The Ethiopian Investment Commission says Ethiopia's performance for attracting and doing business is encouraging compared to the previous times.
Ethiopia's performance compared to last year's is encouraging, though it's not dramatically moving forward. It's not sliding back, which is also a positive sign. Doing nothing means getting backward, but we have been striving to improve in some of the indicators. Out of 9, we performed well on 6 indicators.
Fitzum added Ethiopia has been doing on structural reforms to filling gaps on many areas to ease the doing of business.
It's all about helping our businesses grow faster, getting them access to credit, having them reliable power, and also for new businesses to ease the process.
World Bank appreciates Ethiopia's reforms to improve its performances in easing business activities.
A few days ago, the Doing Business report was published, and Ethiopia was ranking 161 out of 190. Ethiopia reformed in 2 areas. In the area of starting a business, you don't have to pay a minimum capital requirement anymore, so you can start a company without having to pay a minimal fee. And in the area of trading across borders, it became faster to clear customs for imports.
World Bank's Doing Business project was launched in 2002, looking at small and medium-sized companies and measures the regulations applying to them.
Ethiopian Investment Commission sets a target of attracting $4 billion worth foreign direct investment in 2017-18. EBC has talked to the Commissioner Fitzum Arega on activities underway to achieve the goal. Maseret Tajebe has the account.
Documents from Investment Commission show that Ethiopia garnered $3 billion worth foreign direct investment (FDI) in 2016-17 fiscal year. The Commission has also set a target of attracting $4 billion worth FDI in 2017-18 budget year.
Before most investors decide to come to do business in Ethiopia, they first want to be sure about the investment atmosphere here. As FDI highly contributes to national economic growth and technology transfer, business information exchange and manpower development, we work hard towards attracting more.
Meanwhile, the country has recently made currency devaluation by 15% to help boost the export trade.
ኤክስፖርት የሚያደርጉ ኩባንያዎች በፊት ሲያገኙት ከነበረው
Because of the currency devaluation, exporting companies will get 15% more revenue. This in return will strengthen the export trade. We have witnessed this in the past few weeks. More to this, there will also be some increment for companies in the manufacturing sector.
Ethiopia is massively developing industrial parks to more incentivize the FDI flow, especially in manufacturing sector.
Ethiopia is developing the forest sector to lure benefit from carbon credit. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change says the ministry underlines forest development is mainly to help ensure sustainable development. Sadat Mohamed Sani takes it from here.
Forest development is among the mechanisms Ethiopia is implementing to mitigate climate change and build a green economy. Annually, the country plants billions of tree seedlings. As a result, the forestry accounts 30% of the GDP. Beyond mitigating the climate change, the increasing forestry resource is enabling the nation to sell carbon credits.
We have a plan of developing the national forest resource, but the international target is to reduce carbon emission and receive incentives. The incentive could be financial or technical support. Now the country is among the nations that receive such incentives. We have started implementation of our plan in Oromia State, and we are also working in other regions.
Norway is among the countries that support the carbon credit framework.
That kind of engagement, the engagement in reforestation, protection of existing forest, afforestation, is important for Ethiopia economically, but also from a point of view of the climate, clearly.
In 2012, Ethiopia's climate project has received Africa's first forestry carbon credits under clean development mechanisms. To bolster this global recognition, the country is working to increase its forest coverage to 20% by 2020, which is currently 15%.
French embassy in Ethiopia launches a network called France Alumni Ethiopia. The alumni enables former students of Gebre Mariam School and the Ethiopian diaspora to have a global network, internships, and find other opportunities. At the launching event, the French ambassador to Ethiopia, Frédéric Bontem, said this network is of great importance both at the individual professional level and at the corporate level. A Nigerian entrepreneur takes advantage of the near all-year sun in the northern city of Yola. He is also exploiting the opportunity to train youth about sustainable energy. Kifle Sabebe has more on that from Reuters.
All his life, 24-year-old entrepreneur Ario heard Nigerians complain about the country's power supply. Last year, he decided to do something about it. Ario sources and builds solar equipment for sale in his hometown, Yola. He put together everything from inverters to the electrical appliances needed to make homes and business fully solar dependent.
Definitely solar energy is the future energy. A time is coming where all these fossil fuels will get depleted, the coal, and so since we have abundance of sun, I want to see how the youths can also have knowledge on it, and least, so that at least they can be able to generate their own power.
Ario also runs various training programs for young people about solar energy. Last year, he has put up 16 solar panels and trained over 700 people. In return, his business earns him about $262 monthly.
After we came out from camp, I have to meet him and tell him about interesting in the training to have more idea and knowledge of it. It's not really bad the theory we have, because there was some notion I have about it, but when I came here, I have to correct this type of notion. So it was really a good experience.
Power shortage is one of the biggest constraints on investment and growth in Nigeria.
I've benefited a lot because if it's generator, I'll have to buy fuel, service it, and put it on. But with this one, there's no noise. You just switch it on. You just press the button. Even children can switch it on. You just press the button and the light comes on. And I use it for more than 8 hours a day. It has been working very well. Once there's no lights, I have no fear.
So this is a monocrystalline solar panel.
Ario is also targeting schools with his clean energy message. Starting the young, he says, will help them. Nigerians consider different options.
In today's lesson, you told me that the sun brings out the heat of about 15 million watts, and it's very important in solar system, and it brings up in the case of nuclear fission. So it's really helped a lot. He has made a lantern out of it, so I've really learned a lot.
Nigeria needs 10 times its current output to grant reliable supplies for urban and rural inhabitants alike.
That's all we had for now. I'm Tabitha John. Thank you for watching. Have a good time.